The First Amendment of the Constitution states that Congress shall make no law abridging the right of the people peaceably to assemble. The right peaceably to assemble and protest has long been the subject of controversy throughout American history, and protest as it stands in this country is becoming pivotal in this election. Now, we aren't all in the same place on what form protest should take, what it should look like, and how explicit its purpose should be. This summer's protests, triggered ostensibly by the killing of George Floyd, but really a continuation and culmination of a years-long effort against police violence against black people, has been at some times violent and has been met at other times with unprovoked violence from authorities, including in Minneapolis, where I was shot by a rubber bullet in the midst of an entirely peaceful protest, and at Lafayette Square in D.C., when the president had federal forces clear out protesters, spraying them with an irritant and beating civilians with batons. 1965, Selma, Alabama. Protesters walking peacefully across the Edmund Pettus Bridge were brutalized by police. Nearly 24 were. 55 years later, blacks are still fighting voter suppression. 1969, New York City. Police conducted a violent overnight raid at the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar. The LGBTQ community faced routine harassment at the time, and that event gave rise to 6 days of violent clashes and protests. 51 years later, the LGBTQ community still faces harassment and legal discrimination. 1920, American women sought the universal right to vote. Their peaceful crusade was faced with vitriol, and hundreds of women were violently injured over the course of the ultimately successful movement. Women still make less than men do and continue to face economic disadvantage. All of these protests fought what we know and call privilege. They sought redress, and I can cite example after example here and abroad that when someone comes for your privilege, you will fight them. Whether they come in peace or with stones or with fuel for fires, protest is a reminder of systematic injustice. If it's done quietly, hopefully from afar, you can go about your business in your life and sort of pretend that it's not really about you and it's not really a thing. That women don't have the vote and blacks don't enjoy the same rights and women don't earn as much and being gay comes at a cost. It might be true, but don't make too much noise pointing it out. 2016, just 4 years ago, Colin Kaepernick protesting police brutality. That was as quiet as a protest could get. Cost him his career. And he remains the target of people who say he was out of line, doing it in the wrong place. They said that to Martin Luther King Jr., too, who wrote in his famous letter from a Birmingham jail, quote, "You deplore the demonstrations taking place, but your statement, I am sorry to say, fails to express a similar concern for the conditions that brought about the demonstrations. I'm sure that none of you would want to rest content with the superficial kind of social analysis that deals merely with effects and does not grapple with underlying causes." Martin Luther King, 1963. It's that simple. Nobody protests nothing. There's something beneath these protests that those who hold the power don't want to hear. And as long as the underlying causes are not heard and continue, the protests grow louder, and unfortunately they turn violent sometimes as the powerless struggle to find voice and be heard. I've said it before and I'll say it here again. This country was founded not through peace, but through violence. This land was forcibly taken from Native Americans who were forcibly relocated from their lands or killed. Enslaved people were forcibly brought to America to work for free. The colonies were emancipated from British rule through a war on a government that early Americans felt didn't represent their interests. Much of what we enjoy today, our freedoms, are the fruits of violence. So, what is an acceptable form of protest? It's food for thought.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.